Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to, well, a World of Tanks video. This time we are watching some games from yours truly, and yes, please don't shoot me. I know the first game is in artillery. I do occasionally dabble. We are in the M12 Tier 7 artillery piece here. A tank that I think often gets overlooked. I mean, you've got, what, the M44 at Tier 6, which is the most played Tier 6 tank, the most played American tank, at least on the European servers, and is generally considered, as far as artillery goes, to be pretty damn good. It probably doesn't hurt that a certain prominent YouTuber once pointed out that statistically it was the most profitable regular Tier 6 tank to play. In fact, I think he said it was the most profitable regular tank to play. Anyway, but then you get this at Tier 7, and it's quite difficult to pinpoint any real defining features between this and the Tier 6 that would indicate you might want to play this. And then you get up to Tier 8, and you get the M40, which is like the Tomboy, was it called? I can't remember. It's a relatively well-known historical machine. So the M12 just seems to generally languish in the forgotten fields of Tier 7, unfortunately. Which is a bit, like I say, unfortunate, because I think as far as Tier 7 artillery goes, I actually think this machine's pretty decent. But, yeah, to each their own. It's a reasonably decent mixture of firepower and mobility for an SPG. The only real downside is you only get 20 rounds of ammunition, which the reload on this thing isn't bad, so you can actually burn through that ammunition startlingly quickly. Anyway, we're here on Fisherman's Bay, and this is a Tier 9 match, so we're very much at the bottom of things. But we're in an SPG, so it's not as if we're planning to take any tanks on frontally or anything. And our allied light tank drowned. Yay? But then our artillery nails their light tank, so go figure. So we're just trying to find some shots on these guys. This is a 155mm gun, by the way, so 700 damage, 39 pen, and various stun statistics. Pew! Boom! And you'll notice me taking a few shots, not necessarily fully aimed here, because frankly, the reload on this gun is pretty good. And if you wait for your gun to aim all the time on a tank like this, you're going to really struggle to nail some of those lighter tanks like I just did there. So you rely on luck a little bit from time to time, which can be frustrating and isn't necessarily great, but hey, I aimed that shot, so I guess we'll see how the IS is in a minute, and oh no, that's the E50, or a little bit later on. I didn't bother waiting to see if the shot hit. Now the reason I didn't bother waiting to see if the shot hit is that I have noticed, to my cost, that some more observant artillery players don't have the good graces to let you watch where your shot hits. They're far too fast on the trigger, and you... Ooh, that was quite nice, even if I do say so myself. They're quite fast on the trigger, and whilst you're trying to work out did my shot actually hit that tank that is no longer visible, or did it just splash them, they're like, well, I can counter battery you, boom. So I'm not bothering to see if that one hits anymore. I'm just going to assume it did. Hope for the best. And see how much damage I can do. Ooh, can I get a 2 for here? 2 for. Well, it looks like I stunned them both. But Tier 7 artillery shooting at an Oni and a KV-4, I mean, you're gonna struggle to do a lot of actual damage to them if it's just splash. The splash damage on artillery has been nerfed a couple of times at this point. Anyway, it's a real shame that I can't just loop a shot over that building onto their heads, but if they would just both kindly back off a little bit, then I will happily do exactly that. And that will be entertaining. Or it will be for me anyway. Oh, why? Thank you, sirs. No! Well, at least I stunned them both. So, if they get smashed with some other shooting, like that, at least I can pick up some more assistance damage. Top banana. So, the scoreline is currently 5-3. Our team does appear to be winning, and also all of the tanks that have died on our team are bottom tier, they're tier 7s, whereas the enemies have lost at least a tier 8, so that is something. Ooh, there goes the IS from earlier on, so he's no longer a threat. Can I get a shot over there? No, not really. What about the E50? Well, maybe, if he keeps coming forward like a special little snowflake. 19 hull damage, but I stunned him. So if someone else shoots him, there we go. Anyone going to kill him in the next 5 seconds? That would be nice. No. Oh, that makes me sad. KV4 now, someone else has stunned him, so we'll see if we can, you know, move things along a little bit. There we go, he's no longer stunned, waiting for my gun to aim, there we are. And that looks like a direct hit, and this time I did watch the shell. That's a little bit bold of me. Worth pointing out there are 3 artillery per side here, so it's entirely possible that counter battery fire isn't that common these days. It's often not really worth it because you're actually not very likely to kill the enemy artillery in one shot anyway, and that's time that you could be more directly supporting your allies. So, ooh, he had a bad day. It's a little awkward, but it is still something worth keeping in the back of your mind, I suppose, is what I find. You'll notice, by the way, we've used half our ammo already, and we've still got almost 9 minutes of this match left, potentially. So we need to be a little bit careful. Like I said, the M12 does burn through the ammunition quite quickly. And, ooh, T-54 Mod 1 appears to be trying to spot our tank destroyers. Well, that's terribly unsporting of him. So, I should probably stop perpetrating the British stereotype, shouldn't I, of being a stuck-up toff. Well, he's dead anyway, so, what do we care? And suddenly there's only 5 of them left on the enemy team. S51, Su-14-2, FV-3805 artillery pieces, and then the Jagdpanther and the Jagdtiger 88 tank destroyers. So, yeah, it's worth pointing out, by the way, that this was a patch 1.3 game, so this is before they removed tanks to be collectors' tanks and shuffled the tech tree around. So at the time I played this, the S51 is one of 2 Tier 7 artillery pieces in the Soviet tech tree. It's the one that came off from the KV-2. Having a go at this Jagdtiger, I'm not expecting to do masses of damage to him. He has a respectable amount of armour going on, although we did actually manage a respectable amount of damage ourselves and set him on fire, and then people murderated him while he was stunned, which is hilarious. We'll take that. 2 enemy tanks remaining at this point, the FV-3805 artillery piece and a poor Jagdpanther, wondering what he did to deserve this. And actually, I'd like to point out the team I was on were actually quite complimentary about their artillery, which you don't see very often if you scroll back and have a quick look at chat. Oh, well, he just got deleted. They are actually quite, you know, like I say, complimentary. It's nice occasionally to not just be called a bunch of scumsucks and to, oh, there's a little bit of stun. And for people to actually go, oh, cheers, you supported us. Isn't that nice? Anyway, that's the match. Not necessarily particularly exciting, but, hey, Tier 7 artillery in a Tier 9 match. Let's have a look at the post-game stats. So, as of course the name suggests of this video, I mean, we are chasing them aces, and this was one of them. I was genuinely not expecting this to be an ace tanker because it didn't feel like a particularly special game. But I got a little bit lucky on that Jagdtiger toward the end, and we were, of course, shooting some higher tier tanks because we're Tier 7 in a Tier 9 match. So, yeah, I'll take it. And I guess we picked up some blind damage as well, so that wasn't too shabby. Ace tanker, bruiser, and actually a Confederate medal. Apparently I was the one just shooting all of the things. Also managed to complete an artillery mission, and an alliance mission, so a mission from each of the campaigns at once, which was nice, so I'm not complaining. Finished at the top of our team by experience, actually 1,903 damage done, only the 1 kill, but 1,159 base experience, and shoutouts should come to this team in general, to be honest, with the exception of the WZ-131 who drowned. Maybe that wasn't intentional, but hey, let's not bother cutting him some slack. The team in general played well, and like I say, in chat they were actually quite complimentary to the artillery, and I just think it's nice to see people just being nice to each other rather than instantly raging and moaning and complaining about everything under the sun. So, it's nice. I like to see it. A special shout out should probably go to our Progetto, who played a good game. That's 3,500 damage and 5 kills and over 1,000 base experience from him. 45 TP, 2,500 damage from a bottom tier tank. 2 kills, 981 base XP is a nice result. And it looks like our ELC Even 90 must have picked up a bunch of assistance damage there, because he got 243 regular damage and still came, 5th on our team. So there's that. And commiserations on the enemy team to the Oni, almost 2,000 damage from him, in a tier 7, in a tier 9 match, just wasn't enough, so commiserations to you, my friend. Better luck next time. 12 shots fired, 3 direct hits, 13 splashes, for that 1,903 damage done, and I was never really directly pressured, so that was just all from longer range. 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 1 of them destroyed, 174.57 total stun seconds. Why would I be referencing that statistic? Because there are missions that run off it. 2,437 stunning damage for me, 12 stuns, all very nice. Now, we were actually running a premium account at the time, I believe, because this was over a Christmas period. I believe that was from one of the Christmassy missions. And so actually, as it turned out, we made a 55,000 credit profit and picked up a bond to boot and got ×5 experience, which is all very, very nice. So there we go, there's my first match for you. I promise the second game isn't artillery. Please don't shoot me. Second game for you then, and like I said, this won't be artillery as well. This is me driving the M4A1 Revolution French Tier 8 Premium Medium Tank. And on paper, this looks like it could be a damn good game by the setup. We're top tier. I mean, it's 357 matchmaking, so there are plenty of tier 6s to shoot at. And we've got a pretty nice tank. I mean, the Revolution is quite nice. For anyone who's not ever had the pleasure, it's a basically a tier 5 Sherman hull, which doesn't sound very good, I will grant you, with a very large 105mm gun poking out the front, not a howitzer, a proper anti-tank gun, that gets 10 degrees of gun depression and doesn't get horrendous stats on the gun. It's a pretty nice combination. There is a downside to all this though, and that downside is that my crew are made of potatoes. I had been training up a new French medium tank crew for something, for the Batchat 25 TAP, because since I'd been going up what had been the French light/medium tank line, when I started going up it, at the time when I played this game, there were 3 tier 10s leading off from the Batchat 12T. You've got the Batchat 25T, which is the original tier 10 French medium tank. You've got the AMX 105, which is the tier 10 French light tank, the non-wheeled one. And then at the time you had the AMX 30B. Now the AMX 30B has since been moved to be a collector's vehicle, so you don't have that to unlock anymore. But what it meant was that the crew that I had in this tank, did I mention this gun has 390 Alpha, by the way? The crew I had in this, oh sorry, not in this tank, but going up that line, that were at this point in the Batchat 12T, and I believe they still are, or had been in the AMX 1390. Point is, the crew were not a medium tank crew, and I was going to need another medium tank crew. So, here we go. This was me training them up, which is all a very long-winded way of saying that the gun performance and the mobility and everything isn't going to be as good as it would be if I were using a decent crew in this tank. Having said that, the gun, it's quite nice. 390 alpha damage and 200 pen. Now for a tier 8 medium tank, 200 pen is nothing to get too excited about. But that 390 alpha damage, that's very tasty. Especially when you consider that at tier 8, for medium tanks, the only other machines that pack that kind of alpha damage don't get this gun depression. You've got, the T-34-3? Well, that's a derpy-ass gun that gets terrible gun depression. You've got the STG Guard, I think gets 390 alpha damage. Again, the gun depression is rather leaving a bit to be desired. This is 390 alpha. Wow, that was a low damage roll. Blimey, 293? Anyway, 390 alpha. with 10 degrees of gun depression at tier 8. Ah, it's just beautiful. Anyway, we've put 3 shots in so far. 361, which was a low damage roll, 425, which was a high damage roll, and 293, which must be close to a min damage roll. I can't be bothered to work it out off the top of my head at the moment, but that can't be too far off. Nope, I could be bothered to work it out, apparently. That is a min roll, doing some quick mental maths, I do believe. Anyway, or possibly a damage off of it, if my maths is failing me ever so slightly. It's difficult for me to think and talk at the same time. My wife will be able to tell you that. Anyway, having a look around at what we've got to deal with, it's not looking great, let's be honest. The scoreline is 2-5, and that's not really the way round you want those numbers to read. So what are we going to do about it? Well, I decide that I've got 10 degrees of gun depression, so I can come and poke over here, and I can make that 45 TP regret his life decisions. Basically, hi! Oh, 386 and a fire. Someone was packing an automatic fire extinguisher. And artillery tries to have a go, but isn't quite good enough. Stuns me for a little bit, which is frustrating, and delays the murder of this 45 TP, but hey, he's got 12 hit points left at this point. Now, there is an enemy OI that is wandering over in my general direction. We need to be a little bit careful about him, but, well, his friend's dead. Did I mention, by the way, this thing fires APCR as standard? Which means that the shell velocity is really nice. The fully aimed accuracy isn't great, but isn't terrible either. The shell velocity is very nice. Oh, hello OI. Oh, how are you today? Are you doing good? I hope you're doing good. No, just come back a little bit. Just come back. I won't hurt you. I promise. Promise. No, damn you. And the premium ammunition, by the way, you get 250 pen with the premium heat ammo. IKV, come on IKV. You know you want to. Anyway, I should probably stop being silly because this game is looking rather dubious. Now it's looking rather less dubious. Managed to pick up a kill on that IS, who thankfully was firing high explosive. Which seems a little bit silly, but go figure. So we only take 272 from him instead of 390 average. And we get hit by artillery, which is a little bit suboptimal, but c'est la vie. And the Tiger P thinks he's gonna have a go. Well, that was a thing that happened. Did I mention this thing has 390 alpha damage at tier 8 and 10 degrees of gun depression? If I didn't, I'm going to say it again. So, suddenly, after a few quick kills from me and some kills from the rest of my team, it should be said, oh, there's the armour for you though, there isn't any. The scoreline is even, and actually we've now pulled it up. We're 1 kill ahead. Hurrah. Now, unfortunately, my driver has been taken out at this point, and my medkit is on cooldown, which is a bit of a problem. Yeah. Like, remember, this is still at the end of the day, when it comes to people punching you, this is still a Sherman, which is a tier 5. They might have given it 1400 hit points, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a Sherman. The armour is rubbish. It's not as if it gets an amazing turret or something to make up for it. It just doesn't. Well, I think it's worth taking a hit to do that. I've got 407 hit points left at this point, which means I can take another shot from the Carnarvon Action X before I'm a one-shot for him. And can we put my driver in now? This is getting really frustrating. There we go. Driver's back in. And, oh, beautiful side shot. Oh, but it bounces. Ah. As it turns out, the reticule was a little bit high, and now I'm a one-shot for him, which is really unfortunate. We're up to 3,337 damage. Ooh, okay, screw it. We're just going to close the distance. Because I've got friends, and this guy's going to die, and he actually dropped down. Fair enough. Trying to stop himself being surrounded, I suppose. Fair dues. Alright, so we're going to go around here. Yes, I'm a one-shot, but I still have how much alpha damage, ladies and gentlemen? Is it 390? I think it is. So we can definitely still make this guy feel some pain, but we do need to be a little bit careful here. This guy has a reasonable slug of health remaining, and if we look at what's left on our team, I'm a tier 8, but I'm a one-shot. The SU-100 is... oh. The SU-100 is cliff diving without a parachute. That's what he's doing. Fabulous. The Scorpion who's now a 2-shot and never had that much health to start with. He's a Scorpion, and that just leaves the Sentinel AC4, which can definitely damage the Carnarvon, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it could be a little bit dicey. So the Carnarvon appears to currently be distracted. I decide to take a punt at a shot on the move. He doesn't hit me, and I slap him about a bit for 424. And suddenly this game looks a little different. Now, if we do this properly, hopefully we'll be alright. He's a potential one-shot for me. It would happen around 40% of the time, something like that, 390 alpha. Have to roll a bit high. Now he's a one-shot. Thank you, Mr. Scorpion, El Scorpione. And we're kind of playing a little game of chicken here. Both the Scorpion and the Sentinel can take a hit from this Centurion? Good lord. Carnarvon, if necessary. But they probably don't want to, which is fair enough. I can't really blame them too much. I'm just trying to kind of pre-aim here, or I was, in case he was going to poke out a little bit. He decides against poking, which is fair enough. This is now again a little bit awkward. Because if the Scorpion messes up his shot, there's every likelihood the Carnarvon can kill him. In fact, even if the Scorpion hits, there's a very good chance the Carnarvon can kill him, because 269 means that the guy isn't a one-shot for the Scorpion most of the time. In fact, the only person to whom this Carnarvon can be killed with a single round of ammunition is me, because I've got a meaty gun. Anyway, the Carnarvon, not quite sure what he's doing at this point, is looking the wrong way. So, here's the question. Do we take a risk or do we not? What I'm waiting for is for the Centurion to push up. Oh, no, he's looking back my way. Well, okay. If the Carnarvon looks my way, the Sentinel, I can do English, shoots him, and if he looks the Sentinel's way, I shoot him, and as it is, I kill him, and then our Scorpion cliff dives. Woo, that could have been messy. 2 individual tanks claimed by the cliff. Ooh. Anyway, did I mention this was the Overlord map, by the way? I think I completely forgot. Let's have a look at the post-game stats for this one. Well, not quite enough for an ace tanker there at the end of the day. Only a first-class mastery, but I really wasn't going to complain after a game like that, and an awful lot of ribbons. Right. So, I think that's Reaper, Fire for Effect, Fighter, Sharpshooter, Master Gunner, Duelist, Hand of God, Bruiser, and a High Caliber medal? I think. And that's actually quite a lot of money. Nice. 4,030 damage done, so that will generate quite a lot of credits in your tier 8 premiums. 5 kills, 1,187 base experience. If you're looking at that thinking, how is 4,000 damage and 5 kills not more XP? You have to remember that I'm top tier. A lot of the tanks I'm shooting are lower tier than me. And you get a negative XP multiplier essentially, or I shouldn't say negative, but I should say less than 1 XP multiplier for shooting tanks that are a lower tier than yourself, to all intents and purposes. Go figure. Anyway, we managed to win it, and that's the important point. 13 shots fired, 13 hits, 12 pens for that damage count, 5 hits received, 3 penned, and 0 non-pens. I'm assuming that's some Marty splash or something that's not really showing up there very well. 4 hits received as a result of splash damage. 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 destroyed, almost 3 kilometers travelled, and as I was running a premium account at the time, it was quite a nice amount of credits right there. Again, premium account from a mission. Hurrah. So, there we go. There was a couple of games for you, a little bit different in flavour. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos. There should be a suggested video for you, along with a suggested playlist for you. And you can subscribe if you haven't already, and there should be a button for that as well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy yourselves doing whatever it is you're doing, and I wish you the very best of luck on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.